rather believable. That is something we'll take some cues from the old traditional animation. So there's a secret recipe, and definitely it is pure physics. Uh, by pure physics, I don't mean we have to go into any formulas or anything, but it is like learning from the basic principles of what we see in the physical world, right? So there was these three laws of motion by Newton, and all the early animators, they studied all these laws and accordingly came up with a few principles of animation. So the first law states that the law of inertia, and it was way back in the Greek mythology, and then Galileo that said, okay, all objects primarily have um, uh, what I would say, they are inert. They have a resting, they rest. So what I mean by they have a resting position, it is like all the forces that are acting on that particular object are balanced. So, for example, the ball in this example, it is kept on the ground. So there is a gravitational force, but at the same time, the ground is also acting as a force. So that's how it is balanced, and the ball stays in its place unless some unbalanced force forces it to move. So this is like a inertia, is like a Sunday, like when you feel so lazy, and unless there is something that moves you, you don't move, right? And once things are moving according to Newton or according to the law of physics, they keep on moving unless and until it is stopped by an equivalent force. So now, once the ball is in motion, it if there is nothing that's going to stop it, it will continue to be in motion. That's what the law states. But in this case, what happens? Everything in the atmosphere will have a certain friction. That's an atmospheric friction. There's something or some or the other thing that the ball will hit and it will stop. So that's how it works. That's the first law of inertia. The second is the law of acceleration, and acceleration is basically it is directly proportional to the mass and the force applied. So when it's a very lighter mass, it might need uh, a simple flick that would move that object. But when it's a big mass, then probably it will need more force and so on and so forth. So depending on that, the acceleration will happen. Correct? And the third law states it's the law of action reaction. Every action will have equal and opposite reaction. So that okay, a person is sleeping and someone gets hit, and it's a big uh, hit. So that it's like it's the most common and the most I would say this law is known to many people. That the law of action and reaction. So these are the three laws that were the fundamental part that created the principles of animation.